know, as the mayor was just telling me, he says, as much as we'd like to think the fight for freedom ends in Paterson, it doesn't. And he has a partner that helps him in that fight for freedom. So I'd like at this time to introduce the Passaic County Mayor, Mayor Laura. Sorry, City of Passaic. I'm trying to. That was the.
We're all, I guess, Passaic County mayors, since we're all in Passaic County. Mayor's here.
Yes, sir.
It's always an honor to stand here with you, and to all the members of the city council, elected officials, to the commissioners of the county, to state representatives, to the leaders in this community and in all of our communities, to our superintendent of schools from Passaic, who is here always in support, to Mr. Ron Van Ransom, champion every single day for his community and constantly making sure that we never forget, to the Mutum family and all involved. Thank you for this privilege and honor to come here and speak about today and what today represents, what today means. I was considering as I was hearing the speeches that were shared that I am here of my own free will. I am not compelled to attend today. I am free. And I often take that for granted. I think many of us do, because that's what happens when there's progress. We forget those that had to sacrifice so much in order for us to enjoy this freedom that we have, this liberty that we enjoy. I had considered, as our most eloquent and amazing assemblywoman, Shavonda Sumter, had spoken about that trail that would blaze, and I thought, I wonder if the individuals that were blazing it knew that we would be here gathered today. I imagine they were so focused on becoming free and on ensuring that others would be free, did they take time to pause and say, hundreds of years later, our ancestors, generations that will come, will be able to walk this same path freely, without fear or concern who may be behind them or where they are going. We take this for granted. I considered what it means that this bell was gifted and what a bell being rung represents. When bells are rung, it's usually a call. It tells us to come to something or to leave. I remember when I was in school and the bell rang and we were excited. We get to go. We are free for the day. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We would be free. And I imagine that that's the reminder to all of us that when that bell rings, that the sound of the bell, that the image of the bell, that the very word itself compels us to remember that we have a call. A call, like Assemblyman Shayer stated, to fight to ensure that we will always have freedom, not just for us, but for those that come after us. To ensure that we work towards equality and equity, especially for those that we don't necessarily look like or whose experience we can't immediately relate to. Because when we ensure their freedom, their liberty, their progress, we secure our own. As I was sitting there, I was reminded that those individuals, so brave and courageous, those remarkable partners that came together to ensure that the sins of the past will not continue forward and remain sins of our present, that there would be change. I am reminded that every day the echo and whispers of those who gave their lives continue forward, and those whispers tell us, never forget. Continue forward. As they were on that journey, and I imagine the adversities and obstacles that they faced, they had, with so much resiliency and commitment, had to keep going forward. Those whispers tell us, keep going. Don't forget, it's great that you have a monument. It's amazing that we have a ceremony, but the work continues. Keep going forward, because there's so much more to accomplish. I could go on, but I recognize that I am in my sister city, and with definitely said much respect to our remarkable mayor here, I'm going to cut short and conclude there. That I hope that those whispers continue to echo and get amplified by every single one of us that have this amazing responsibility of enjoying platforms that we can make the message go farther. And as that continues to get amplified, we will ensure freedom, not just here, not just in our state, not just in our nation, but around the world. God bless you all. Thank you so very much.
Well, this, I want to first start with thanking Assemblywoman Sumter for making everyone step their game up. I just want to start there. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Paterson City Council President, President Davila.
Thank you very much. I don't have a lot of words to say after hearing the great speakers this afternoon, but I'd like to bring up my Councilwoman of the 4th Ward, Councilwoman at Large Dr. Mims, Councilwoman Ruby Cotton of the 4th Ward, Councilman Velez of the 5th Ward, Councilman Mendez of the 3rd Ward. Did I miss anyone else? Anyone else? So what I'd like to say is, it just gives me great pleasure and honor, to be standing here today. And as I stand here with my colleagues, we work on a day in, day out for the city of Paterson. And to be able to be here and unveil this bell means a lot, because it's a reminder. It's history, but it's a reminder of the struggles that we go on, that continue to go on. To the Van Rensselaer family, okay, we want to thank you so much for gifting the bell and having it stay in the home where it belongs. So thank you very much. Blessings to all. Thank you.
I'm her designated introducer. So ladies and gentlemen, the former mayor of the city of Paterson, current councilman from the 4th Ward, the Honorable Ruby N. Cotton.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
That's it.
First, let me first give an honor to God. It's truly a pleasure to be here. Let me say to all the elected officials, the Van Rensselaer family, of keeping, as I say, the dream alive.
Yes.
We must always keep our ancestors alive in our lives to save the struggle that we have incurred. And I can say, standing here today, and I have tears in my eyes because I think about my life. I think about my life, working on a farm, sharecropping, being so hurt and tired. And then my uncle and my grandfather all made us happy. At the end of the day, they learned how to make us happy and forget about all the hard work we've done that day. So I think about that, and I say, as an elected official, I try to do the same way, try to do the same things that I was taught. I was taught to care for people. And that's what it's about, caring for people. And I can say truly that it's not easy, and I know my ancestors are watching and saying, look at my girl, Ruby. But my name was Nell back then in the day. But, it's amazing that you can still, I always say, you keep God in your heart, you keep love in your heart, you can do so many things. There's so many obstacles that we cross that sometimes we jump over them. God puts stuff in your path and you don't know that He put it there. He put something in there for you to achieve, for you to push for you to go for. And before I leave, I say, and it's truly, I say, God bless me to be standing here with so many things that happened in this city of Paterson. I happened to be 12 years old when Dr. King came here in 1968. I was able to put a park with Governor and Auburn Street. And I said, one day, visitors are going to come there to see that park. The last place he spoke before he was assassinated. I can say that, God, you put me here for me to do good. And remember, we're on borrowed time. We're all on borrowed time. And we better make the best of what we can do now. And I'm going to end with this with a story. And what I find is that I joined the National Council of Negro Women and said, take care of our children. I joined it because Mary McLeod Bethune and Dr. Dorothy Hyde said, take care of our children. So I go to the convention and have a chance to meet Andrew Young. And Andrew Young sat and told us it was Dorothy Heights who picked Martin Luther King to be the leader. Everybody wanted to be it. Ralph Abernathy, Andrew Young, Malcolm X, they all wanted to be it. But Malcolm was the chosen one. And isn't that something that I want to say today on this celebration of the Freedom Day? October 19, 2021 is Freedom Day. We will never forget. We're going to always do that. And as long as I got breath and God keeps me strong, I'm going to continue. And I know everyone here today, I want to thank you all for coming out. But you could have been somewhere else. But this is important, that we keep this name going for everyone to know. 30 years from now, they're going to look on that brick and see the Cotton family down there. 30, 40 years from now. I may not be here, but it's going to be there. So to you all, the Houghton Van Rensselaer family, I appreciate you all for doing everything that you've done to keep this going. I just had to share that with you today. God bless you all. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you. God bless you.
You know, before we move on to the next speaker, I just would be remiss if I didn't mention three huge pioneers in the fight for freedom in Paterson. Former Councilwoman Vera Gaines. Former freeholder Elise Evans. And former Councilwoman Vera Lee Jackson. As long as we remember to say their names, they'll never be forgotten. At this time, since we're talking history, it's my pleasure to introduce the Director of the Historic Preservation Society, Gianfranco Arcani.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be with you this morning. All these fabulous words that came before mine, I'll be very brief. I'm here to present greetings to all on behalf of the Preservation Commission. The Historic Preservation Commission was established as soon as the state law was available in the state of New Jersey in 1988 for municipalities to engage and create one. And in 1991, just a few years after 1988, its establishment, the Paterson Municipal Council passed our first locally designated historic sites. And it included a list of about 10 sites that we're all very familiar with. City Hall, the Passaic County Courthouse, these very beautiful public buildings, St. John's Cathedral, the list goes on, for example. It was a few years later, as the Preservation Commission was getting more established as part of the, as a legal entity in the city of Paterson, that a nomination came forward for a historic site. And this was a nomination for this site. And the community came out in a great way. This was the year 1996 that this happened. The Van Rensselaer family was part of it. We have also others who are not here today, like Dr. Flavia Laya, who was actually the chairwoman of the Preservation Commission at the time, that really fought hard to bring this site to be a designated historic site in the city of Paterson. The Preservation Commission is a part of the city's ordinance, its land use ordinance, that's actually voluntary. And I wanted to just take a moment today to point out how important it is for a community to be able to establish its sites of importance and significance to its community. And this was the first designated site where the community came together to actually put this on the rolls, and it's been on the rolls all this time. So I wanted to add this part to the story. On behalf of today's commissioners, I'd like to present greetings. I'd like to also make a shout out to Jimmy Richardson, who's been one of our greatest partners very much, and our city council members who are here today, those who have been have known me personally for such a long time that I've been in Paterson. Thank you for all of your support. These are the wonderful events that we all like to come out to celebrate not only our heritage, our struggles, our future, and also our investments. So thanks to the family, the Van Rensselaer family. A shout out also to my colleague Tim Henderson for helping with the bell. Just a couple words about the bell. So we tried really hard to find some of the background on the bell. And we know that the bell, many of you will remember this, many of you have been here much longer than I, and I put a call out to all of you. If you have a memory about the bell being dedicated at Overlook Park near the falls many years ago, I'm thinking it's around the bicentennial, 1970s. If you attended that event or you have a memory of it, please let us know. We have lost this story to our history here, and we're not sure where the bell came to the city from and was dedicated and was there for many years, where thousands and thousands of children and people have rung the bell and have made, it was really a main attraction. When you parked at the parking lot to see the falls, you would be able to ring the bell. Jimmy Richardson, I want to thank you for coming to the Preservation Commission with the idea of relocating the bell, because everyone knows in 2017 and 18 we rehabbed Overlook Park and the bell needed to be relocated. We needed to find a new home. So we stored it away, and this was a great opportunity for the bell to be rededicated here and for this wonderful day to be dedicated by proclamation of our mayor's Freedom Day. So this is really a fabulous event for posterity, and was really wonderful to have this bell here in perpetuity. And when you see the bell in a little while, I'm going to be charged with the Preservation Commission's help to continue its installation. We're going to go ahead and rehabilitate it, and that includes the bronze parts and also the metal parts, and get it permanently sort of situated here on this wonderful base that was provided by the Paterson Parking Authority. So with that, I bid you adieu. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again very much.
There's now not freeholders. That's all right. Speaking of the weight of history, that word freeholder has some heft to it. I don't know. Your program says freeholder Commissioner T.J. Best. I don't know what T.J. was going to say, but it's probably not this. I trace my heritage in this country back to the Mayflower. And I know well that somewhere in those 15 generations between William Brewster, the elder of the Plymouth colony, and myself, there were surely people who were part of denying some of the ancestors of those here that promise that we all spoke at the beginning of this ceremony of liberty and justice for all. And I received my education at Brown University, named for the largest and most successful and most prominent and wealthy Providence, Rhode Island family of slave traders. So that history and the history that we get to learn about here is bound up very, very tightly together in, I think, what Dr. King spoke of as that single garment of American destiny. Or we can think of it as together in a melody, and Mr. Foster, I don't know where he went, but what a remarkable job of combining Lift Every Voice and the Star-Spangled Banner into a shared melody that reflects this shared history. And across all of those generations, the 15 between me and the Mayflower, and the generations of heritage that all of us bring here, each generation is called to answer a question: who will we be as individuals and as a community and as a nation? And it's so good to be standing here asking that question, because we have in front of us a really, really good answer. Let us be Huntuns and Van Rensselaers together. And as this bell echoes in our ears and we go away from this place, let us make that promise of liberty and justice for all more real every day. Thank you.
As we call out names of freedom fighters, Alonzo Tambour Moody, I want to give him. At this particular time, that's why we're here. The unveiling of the bell. May I have Mayor Saya, Jimmy Richardson, and the board please come over and unveil the bell.
No phones down, please. No phones right there. Sir.
You're in the way of eyewitness notice.
1, 2, 3.
He know what he's doing. Jimmy, don't ring that bell just yet. Hold on a second. We're still recovering. Yeah. Since we've been acknowledging freedom fighters, I want to take point of personal privilege. See him in the back. Descendant, Eastside High School Hall of Famer, City of Paterson Hall of Famer, Dale Skip Van Rensselaer. My best friend and the worst Dallas Cowboys fan I ever met. Thank you.
Skip.
Now seeing the bell, I think it would be at this time it's very fitting that a historian comes up here and says a few words. Jimmy, can you come on up and speak to us?
Good morning, everyone. God has granted me a scholarship of purpose, and my education has been on my platform has been about the city of Paterson, and it has to do with discovery and rediscovery of the African American presence here in town. I got started because our history is most certainly recorded, but it is most certainly in the margins of other people's histories, and my job has been to bring it forward. In 2019, the United States of America celebrated the 400th anniversary of 1619. And Darren Bach, the superintendent of the Great Falls, was kind enough to ask me to host the National Bell Ringing, or one of the sites, at the Great Falls, which I was most certainly honored. After that ceremony took place, I spoke to Darren Bach and also spoke to Don Franco Archimedes about moving that bell. Don Franco told you a little history about where it was, moving that bell here. And I thought it would be a tribute and a fitting place for it to be. Most of you can't see it, but underneath your feet in some places, it's let freedom ring.
Yes.
And now we have the Freedom Bell. For those who don't know the true name of this monument, the true artistic name is On the Wings of Freedom. It was sculpted, and the architect was Ed Dwight out of Colorado, and he did a fantastic and wonderful job. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my job to encourage you to help me give you my best. And giving my best has to do with you asking me questions, putting forth questions that would force me to answer, to rediscover the Paterson history. The Freedom Bell is not just about the African American community. The Freedom Bell is about all communities. Let freedom ring is what Dr. King installed, what he said. What he said in 1963 in Washington. He said, let freedom ring. And if you get an opportunity to go back through that speech, just in reading it, it is most certainly dynamic. Thank you very much.
At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce, and let me just say a few words about her. I just happen to have it right here. Dolores M. Van Rensselaer Warren, born in New York, but raised in San Diego, discovered at age 17 she had hidden African-American ancestry. She made an immediate moral choice to leave home to openly honor her hidden African-American ancestry and to search for her hidden Black roots. After years of extensive research, she not only documented her biracial ancestry, DNA 50.6% white and 44.3 Black, she discovered her hidden great-grandfather, William P. Van Rensselaer, was a Black engineer and Black Underground Railroad agent at his friend abolitionist Josiah Hatoum's home in Paterson, New Jersey. In 1994, to save the then Underground Railroad vacant lot, her essay, Bridge Street to Freedom, later a book in 2017, helped preserve the Huntoon Van Rensselaer Underground Railroad site. In 2004, she became the founder and president of the nonprofit Huntoon Van Rensselaer Underground Railroad Foundation, leading the board to help fund the Huntoon Van Rensselaer Underground Railroad Monument, completed in 2014. It features over 181 personalized bricks from across the nation and now has a perpetuity 1871 historic bell. Dolores' professional experience includes the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation, Parks, and Community Development Department, the Watts Labor Community Action Committee, and the New Jersey State Council for the Blind. She authored Bridge Street to Freedom in 2017 and is presently writing Hidden Roots, a biracial memoir. She holds a BA in English from California State University at Los Angeles and postgraduate study in public administration. She has received myriad accolades since 1973, including over 40 community, state, and national awards, 4 awards for authorship, and 4 2019 Marquis Who's Who in America honored inductions. Happily married since 2009 to Dr. John E. Warren, she has Michael and Latanya West grown children by a previous marriage. Her saying, "The soul has no color. It's the soul's character God will judge each of us by." Please help me introduce and bring up to the stage Dolores M. Van Rensselaer.
This is a very historic day in New Jersey's history. Today is officially Freedom Day, given to us by Mayor Sehan. By this proclamation you are holding in your hands. As president, on behalf of the Huntoon Van Rensselaer Board, I'd like to thank all those many who help us bring this rare historic bell here. Jimmy Richardson.
Jimmy.
2 years ago, Jimmy calls me up and tells me he has an historic bell that he wants to place at this site. This is on behalf of the Van Rensselaer Underground Railroad Foundation to public historian Jimmy Richardson. In appreciation for your Huntoon Van Rensselaer Underground Railroad Monument historic bell contribution, October 19th, 2021. Pattern Historic Preservation Commission. You see, like myself, Jimmy really didn't do this all by himself, but he was persevering for 2 years. You've already heard Mr. Archuleta. Need I say more? The Paterson City Council. Very, very key and very important, and we appreciate that. the Paterson Parking Authority. Tony.
Tony!
Come in,